first 30 slides of your webinar are so important. And if you mess this up, the first 1, 2, 3 minutes, you're going to suffer because your retention rate is going to drop and you're not going to have enough people in front of you to be able to pitch when it comes to presenting your offer. You're not going to get enough calls booked or people buying, and all of the effort that you put into creating the slides, creating the ads, the landing page, the copy, the emails, everything that you do is just going to be wasted. So you need to nail these first 30 slides if you want everything else downstream to be well worth it, performing within KPI, and exactly what you need and what you're looking for from running a webinar funnel in the first place. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact slides that I was running for a webinar that we ran last week for a client. The first time running this webinar, we did a little bit of paid spend, and the cold traffic that hit KPI off rip. The first webinar that we ran for this offer, over 80% retention rate. We're happy with that. And the reason that we're able to get that, and there are other things that we need to improve across the webinar, of course, but we hit these 5 points. Reiterate the promise, so making sure that everything that we do across the board is consistent, from the ad that we run to the landing page, LP, to the emails that we send, everything, making sure that that is the final part where someone's actually on the webinar itself, they're seeing the presentation, making sure that that is already reiterated with the same promise and everything's saying the same thing. Create a desk chain is that what I mean by that is that we want to have it basically that people have these earpods in, or these wired headphones that are tying them to their desk and they don't want to leave. We do that through a visual hook and essentially some proof or some asset that we can actually share with them that's like, oh wow, like I definitely don't want to miss this. We need to provide proof like as to why the speaker is credible and also the results that they've got for themselves and also the clients that they're helping with. Address any elephants, any back of mind objections that someone may be having, making sure that we're taking care of those so it's not making someone feel uncomfortable. Even if they can't verbalize it themselves, they don't know exactly what it is, we want to address what the elephant in the room could be. And then finally, we want to summarize the teaching points. And you want to build your teaching points from data. So what we did here is that we had a form. So everyone that filled the form got entered into the giveaway. I'm going to represent an exclamation mark because I don't know how to do a giveaway, draw a giveaway. And everyone that did that shared some reasons as to why they were struggling with TikTok Shop right now. That fed back to us, the top 3 from there fed back into our teaching points, the main pillars of the webinar that we're running. So you can do this the same way if you have if you're launching something new and you don't have sales call data to actually rely on, then use some sort of form, some sort of survey where you can get people on your Instagram story or your group or your community, wherever people are hanging out and following you, just put them through a form. If you just got sales calls and loads of sales call data, just put them through Claude or ChatGPT, whatever you want, and then say, okay, what are the 3 main points that we need to address? What's holding someone back? And then they will become your teaching points. So how do we actually do these? Well, let's get into the slides themselves. Now, I will mention this was originally a German webinar. I used Claude to translate it. So there are going to be some bits of copy that don't sound perfectly in line with what you'd want on an English webinar, but that's what we got. So this is just for the first few minutes while people are joining up the room. Before you actually get started with the presentation, engage with the chat. So what's your name, where you're from, what you do, what you're excited to learn. And then just when they're doing that, just breathe, really. Like when you're there, I know it can feel daunting, especially if it's the first time that you're doing it. Just breathe, relax, have fun with the chat, enjoy yourself, speak with the people. Oh, hey, Marcel's here. Oh, you're from Düsseldorf in Germany. You're a student. Oh, cool. I was in Düsseldorf just last week, whatever you want to say. You can say these things, just have fun with the chat, just talk to them. But the first slide is going to be where you reiterate that piece, where you reiterate the promise. So it doesn't sound quite so great in English, but basically how you can build a real income with TikTok Shop. And this is something that we do on the ads, on the landing pages, and the emails, everything to make sure that that person's like, okay, I'm in the right place. If I said, this is how you can go from earning 1,000 a month to 5,000 a month on TikTok Shop, but then all of the other assets, all of the other ads, the landing page, etc., was all about how you can be a beginner, there'll be some mismatch there and people will get confused. So make sure that everything is in alignment. Everything is saying the same thing. Then we're handling just the objections, and we've got 5-ish objections that we handle, that we get on a regular basis. So it's the product, the experience and also the need to show your face. We want to make sure that they're clear and upfront and addressed early doors. Then just a bit of housekeeping. So if you've got any questions, just let us know in the chat. Our team will save them. That's so someone knows that they can actually actively use the chat and actually benefit from using the chat as well. And then this is our hook. This is the point that I mentioned with the wired headphones. By the end of this training, you'll know exactly how to earn 50 to 500 a day with TikTok videos. So something that seems simple, big promise, something that's very desirable. And then we've, of course, got the screenshots and the results to prove it, the results that people are getting in my client's community in this particular case. For you, if you're doing some sort of, I don't know, weight loss offer, then it could be like a very clear series of before and afters. That would be fantastic. If you were doing an Amazon offer and you were saying how someone can use Amazon wholesale, for example, you would show the before and after is a great way of doing it, or you could just show what's people are achieving just like this. Basically just show results, show proof at this point in a way that's as visually captivating as possible. That's going to be your desk chain. No influencer, no large following required. Obviously, the translation isn't perfect there, but we've covered these 2 points by reiterating the promise and creating a desk chain. Now, we just want to go on a bit of background quickly, just about, okay, who's this person? It actually so turns out that in the German market, there is this company that just... should I really say this? But there's a company that basically just talks about business opportunities. They don't really have experience doing this themselves. They're not practitioners in what they teach, but they just share business opportunities. They run webinars like this, and they get lots of people to buy their info product, even though they're not really practitioners in the space. They're not doing these business models themselves. They're just saying, here's a good opportunity, try it. I don't believe in that. So if someone was experiencing that, they've seen that in the space, I wanted to address this super early doors, make sure that we can be like, yeah, this is someone who's actually making good money with TikTok Shop. They're kind of in the desired result. They're not just someone who's saying, oh, here's a good opportunity for you to look into. So we're just saying about how he became the leading creator straight away, and some of the results of his initial videos, like what's the realistic timeline. Okay, in his first month, or in his first 2 weeks, he managed to get a €3 commission, but then he was able to get €1,000 in his first month, and now he's able to make 5 figures a month through this. So a bit of a quick backstory that provides some proof is how I wanted to handle this. And then we're also going into the desires here. So this can be, there's 2 ways to go about this part. So I knew I wanted to live in freedom. So this is the kind of the painful situation they wanted to avoid is kind of what I was getting at here. And or what they're actually going for, like, but without this, like without the painful situation. You can also frame it here, address the things that weren't working for you at this point. So it turned out that this guy had experience creating content already, but if he hadn't, I would say something like, I had no content creation experience before, and and I just used my phone to do this. So, like, what are the things, think about if you're doing something like this, think about the things that were going against you, that someone could perceive as things that are disadvantages for them, and then just address those and drop them in. That's going to help you out. And then we're just getting into more and more proof, like always just going for proof as much as possible through the webinar, as much as we can. And that's that 3rd point. So now we want to address the elephants. And what do I actually mean by that? Well, okay, so how could I do this, get this outcome, build a real income with just 1 to 2 hours a day? I found the right system, this system I'm teaching you today. Are you focused right now? But there's one more thing I need to talk to you about. I got this comment recently. It's a fair question. You might be thinking something similar right now. And this person is basically saying, if this is so easy, why are you doing coaching? And that's going to be a common question that you'll get if you are a business opportunity coach. Okay, so why are you coaching? Why are you offering us this? And this is what I wanted to address as an elephant. Some people might not even be having this in their brain, like straight away, but it's probably something that will be bugging them, but even if they can't verbalize it themselves. So I wanted to address this elephant early. Yes, I have a program. Yes, it's an additional income, but TikTok Shop is really what I do every single day. It's how I pay for my life here in Prague. It lets me support my family. I tried 4 other business models before this. Some of them brought me up to 50,000 a month. So this is something where we're like, well, I could have done coaching in the past. I could have done, but this is the one time where I felt like I wanted to share this with others because it's doable for beginners. So if you're getting that question a lot, if you're doing something like trading or how to start a business in Amazon or UGC or whatever it may be, if you're getting that question a lot, this is a good way to handle it. Just handle it as honestly as you possibly can, and without, I guess, without just saying, "Oh, I make more money through coaching." And I hope that's not the reason for you as a coach. To be honest, if that is the reason for you as a coach, then I don't want to be helping you out just because it's a money glitch sometimes, you know. Since I started coaching, I've loved helping others and seeing results. Some people don't want coaching, that's completely fine. But 5 years ago, I would have given anything for a free training like this. So circling back to, I wanted to address the coaching objection, like, oh, there's a bit of discomfort here. I don't know maybe we'll just D for discomfort. But then we're circling back to, okay, what are we actually doing here? This is a free training. And I would have loved this. I would have really, really loved this 5 years ago. So hope you're excited as I am. Here's what we'll cover today. So we've just addressed the elephant, and now we want to summarize our teaching points using the information that we got in our survey that we put out to the audience. I figured out what really separates ordinary people from an income with TikTok Shop. Number 1, the exact strategy to hit 1,000 TikTok followers in less than 7 days. So that was the number 1 problem that people were facing. This is the number 2 problem. How do you actually pick the right products? And number 3, how do you create the videos consistently? And then also just handle this objection again, that you don't actually need your face to be in those videos. So that's the kind of start of webinar that you want to run, really, to be able to hit retention numbers like this. And there are other things that are going to come into play, of course, things like how you tell your story, how valuable the training actually is, how you communicate as well. If you're really monotonous and boring, then that's obviously going to affect your retention rate and call booking rate or close rate too. But this is the most important part, because you need to make sure that you actually nail the start of the webinar. And also to make sure that people are actually engaged. Even if they stay, you want people engaged and actually paying attention, and they'll pay attention if you nail the start of the webinar. So thank you for watching this video. If you want someone to build you a killer webinar funnel, do the deck, do the slides, do the ads, do the copy, do the emails, do the automations, everything like that, build it out for you, then you can scroll down, you can click the link, and we can schedule a time to chat to talk about your offer and how you position things, and how a webinar might help you or might not as well. But if you don't, keep sticking around watching the videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.